Ooh, Grand Rising. This is Danyelle Claxton of Blooming Lotus Wellness. Welcome to Rise Up with Blooming Lotus. Today is Monday, April 17th, 2023. And we are starting off this week. Actually, this week it happens to be 420 week. That's funny. 420 went from a day to a whole week.
I know, right?
Then again, for some people, 420 is every day. So
every day. Right.
but this beautiful sister here, I happened to meet at a Tava event. And we bonded on the fact that we both do yoni steams. It's like, okay. But she is so much more than that. She is a nurse. She is a cannabis advocate. Um, she's the reason why I ended up at that retreat. And had a day of like woosah. I'm just sitting here like, and I formed a really good bond with Anna. And that one day just changed the trajectory of everything. I'm like, wow. To which actually you don't even know, Danyelle, I'm actually planning a retreat for the Elizabeths back at Anna's what is it, resort. So I'm giving the dates, I'm getting the dates and everything, and I'm talking to her because I'm like, they need to experience that because
it was so
that was
peaceful. I mean, oh, I
that's where I
can't even
made
really put it into words.
that's where I made my own CBD balm, which I still have. It's in the bedroom somewhere, but we made our own bombs, and I was like, oh yeah, I got to come back up here.
I'm so glad it worked out because I swear, off of that subject, it was so funny when I knew I couldn't stay the whole weekend. And I'm like, God, I don't want to leave them hanging. And I'm like, okay, just send me a message of who needs to be there. And I swear I heard it so clear. And I'm like, okay, I know me and her don't really know each other that well. So I'm about to ask her, like, can you meet me in the woods? And then I'm going to leave.
Literally, that's what she did. And I did it. I was like, yeah.
I want to be somewhere, but then I won't be there that long. But I'm glad it worked out. And even the little bit of time I was there, I'm like, oh my God, I need to do this on a regular. This is like a recharge. So you all will definitely enjoy it. And I hope you all do come. And I hope I'm there as well because it was everything.
And that's working with spirit. Because, like you said, we don't know each other that well. I didn't know who was going to be there. I didn't know where I was going. I was just like, I get to get away for a day and a half. Okay, let's see what happened. And it worked out great. Them ladies were wonderful to be around. We did an arts and craft crafting. That was like right up my alley. I was like, okay, I like this. And the land there, just to be able to walk away and just walk and go through the woods. And I met some phenomenal women who I still keep in contact with today. I still talk to Christine, and I think it's Delphilia. Delphia, she's a one. I have to have her on the show because I didn't realize what a gifted vocalist she was. But it was really, it was right on time. That was just nothing but spirit, and that just show how spirit can put you together with your people. Even if you don't know them, they know their hearts, they know their intentions, and that just worked out so wonderful. So,
Yes.
Hmm. So yeah, I'm gonna say my introduction to cannabis obviously was around being with this woman right here in this corner up here, Miss Sheila Hill, Sheila Dooney. Because when she entered into my life and I started hanging out with her and her husband is an entertainer as well, a gifted, what is it, keys player. Them entertainment people, they be hanging out. And Sheila and Phil were always, not always, but especially when they were in their zone, their creative zone and entertaining, the cannabis was around. It was always around. And I'm like, I've seen people with their creativity. It just changed my mindset about it because the only people I was around that was doing cannabis at that time, they really didn't do too much but cannabis. So it's like, okay, I don't necessarily want to hang out with you because you're not really doing anything and that's the only thing that you do. But this was different. This was totally different. This was before cannabis became popular, we had CBD and all this other stuff. It just it changed my trajectory in my mind, and I started to indulge more. I'm more of a social indulger than anything else, except for when I had my miscarriage. When I had my miscarriage, I think I did call Queen. I was like, look, I need some weed. I need something to calm down the anxiety because this is too much. This is way too much. And, I got my medicinal right when I need it for what I needed, for what I need it for. And I keep it for when I need it. So, and then of course, we have our product with Tavo, we got our sexy. So that's really my preferred way of getting it. The sexy. I've tried the edibles. I like the edibles, but by me being diabetic, that's too much carbs, there's too much sugar. So I like the effects, but it's a little too much. It's a little too much. So, and I do need to get back into, like I said, I have medicinals here because I have herbs all around me. I'll be honest, I need a rolling class because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I really don't. But yeah, go ahead, and I'm trying to see if anybody else is gonna pop on. Queen,
Yeah,
you
I
want
was
to
gonna say, yeah, let's wait until 8:30. If you have
so
the
do you
time,
want
Erica?
Mhm.
Okay.
so do you want to tell, like I
Well,
said,
I want to know what event were you at, Erica? That you invited Danyelle to?
So
She's been to so many things. I don't know which one she went to.
yeah. So there's a nurse that I know through this cannabis world. Actually, her name is Christine, and she took a medical cannabis class that I had back in 2022 or 21. It was over the last summer, I believe, or the before. Anyway, we stayed in touch, and I had introduced Christine to a group of nurses as well that are called the Midwest Canna Nurses, and they do a lot when it comes to legalization, education, especially in Black and Brown communities of cannabis, and having fair access to things. I know there are so many businesses popping up, but a lot of it still isn't accessible to people who look like us. So they are really big in that arena. And so from that, Christine kind of created her own lane and wanted to start doing retreats. And so she had invited me to the retreat for the weekend. And I wasn't able to stay. So this is a retreat that was in Gaylord, Michigan. And it was going to be a whole weekend. It was a small group of women. Where we had meditation one night. Like I said, the second day is when they made the infused bombs. And just a way to just kind of commune, get together, and just get away from the city, just to get away into nature and kind of disconnect and reconnect at the same time. And so happened to be my younger brother's birthday weekend, and I knew I wouldn't be able to stay the whole weekend. And through me, just my journey of learning to listen to that voice, because I know, and that to me is a big sign of growth, because old Erica would have been very closed off. I probably would not have went. I definitely would not have even thought to ask Danyelle, which I'm like, I don't even know her. I would have came up with so many excuses of why not to go. I don't know these people. I don't know where I'm going. I can't ask nobody else to go. So that, again, when I look back, shows the growth that I've made in these last few years of learning to get out of my own way. So yeah, it was a retreat that this nurse Christine put together. It was her first one. And since I know I couldn't stay the whole weekend, I didn't want to leave them hanging. And I'm like, I know she does the belly dancing. She's got such great energy. Even when I first met her, and we had only met one time before then at an event at a fellow Tava business owner's home, where she was having a Tava party, recruit party, discussing the business. So we had only met that one time, and I swear I heard her voice in my head so loud and clear. And I just was like, hey, there's a retreat in Gaylord. You don't have to pay anything. It's overnight. Everything is covered. You'll have somewhere to stay, sleep, eat. Do you want to go? I know you don't really know me, and you don't know the people who are going to be there, but it worked out amazing. It worked
out for her. I was like, yes, let me pack up my car. Let's go. I'm like, I'm so glad I said yes. I didn't know what I was in store for. I really did not. I'm so glad I went. And, you know, this is one of those things like when you do networking events, you never know who you're going to meet, how they're going to, you know, just and connect in your lives. And like I said, the connection for me, not only the fact that we're in Tava, is the fact that, you know, she does yoni steams as well. So of course it's like, okay, we're on the yoni healing and everything. And when I started following her on Instagram, I was like, oh, she's into this cannabis. I'm like, okay, and I'm into cannabis healing as well. I'm a caregiver. I'm not a nurse, I'm a caregiver. But I know the benefits of CBD. I had a client that was so scared that had extreme anxiety. You know, sometimes when you're dealing with the autoimmune disease and you're a senior and I know you have all these thoughts in your head about whether you're going to wake up the next day or this, that, and the other. She was afraid of taking the CBD products. But in the same vein, your anxiety is on 10,000.
Yeah.
It's like the Xanax that she was on, her sister was just concerned because you keep taking Xanax, it's going to mess up your kidneys. So it's like, you know what? It's like, ma'am, I'm going to need you to make a decision. Just try it, you know, because she's 70 years old. So she got all this propaganda in your head about cannabis. And now all of a sudden it's like you're at a crossroads as to which route you gonna go. I'm like, I can't make a decision for you, but I know I can tell my experience. It relaxes me. It will relax you. So it took her a while to go through this battle, but when she finally started just taking some of the gummies and saw that it did reduce her anxiety to the point where she can just. So it got to a point, it was just used as a tool to help her with her anxiety for right there. She didn't use it. By the time I left that client, she wasn't using it at all. She learned, because like, we incorporated the meditation. She found videos on YouTube to help her calm and work through her anxiety. So it was just a tool to just guide her through that moment where it's like, you're just too anxious to function. But I'm glad that it was there and it was an option because whoo child, that was something else right there. So we got Mama Evelyn coming on, we got Star coming on. Yeah, the Elizabeths are waking up. They coming on. They coming on. They must have had a weekend. But that's just one of the my personal experience. And another one, I had another client, elderly client, anxiety on high. Her family, what they came up with, they actually took the bud and put it on a charcoal because she couldn't like actually smoke it or anything like that. And putting that on a charcoal, actually getting into the air, helped her and ease her with her anxiety. So I'm trying to figure out a way
breathing it. She was like breathing it. Okay.
And it was just something to calm. Once again, it's to calm down, because a lot of people, you know, when you're getting close to death, a lot of people, because they don't have the conversation and they haven't come to grips with it, they're scared of it. You know it's coming, but you're scared of it. And it's like to see people mentally go through that anxiety like that, it's something else. It's like, wow. But the mere fact that these seniors, you know, the stigma is not there anymore. So more and more people are using it, but they're still afraid. So I know, like I said, as a caregiver, I can't treat or diagnose or anything, but they do ask me what you think. And I'm like, yes, you know, it works for me. I tell you that it works for me. I don't do it when I'm with my clients. I choose to do it at home when I need it. And I'm like, when I need it, I only do it when I need it, and it works. So, yeah, that's my story. And I would like to see more people, more caregivers, more nurses, more people get more educated on the medicinal properties of marijuana and cannabis, because it, first of all, it's always been a healing herb. It's always been that. Number two, I've never heard anybody overdose from marijuana. Never. Never. I've never heard it be like, yeah, he died from a lethal dose of marijuana.
Sleep, that's what it do.
Right.
Knock your butt out. Go sleep.
Good sleep.
I do believe, like I said, I have it in my
herbal. So creative, you can't stop. One or the other.
Yeah. I have it in my herbal apothecary. Like I said, after my miscarriage, I knew I need to just have that. Just have it on hand for when anything something that I can't handle, I can calm myself down. And
Mhm.
that's what I love about being, an herbalist and being into herbs is having what I need, and then also having what my household may need. So I don't have to run to the doctor. I don't have to run because, like I said, that Xanax and what is it, the Prozac, Xanax, all these medicines, they mess with the mind, but people don't think about those kidneys, all that chemical going through your system. It causes other issues. So.
Mhm.
But ladies, I know Star, I'm going to introduce Erica Danyelle again because you guys missed it. But this is a sister who I met at a Tava networking event more a year ago. I'm coming close up to a year because this April is actually my 1 year Tava anniversary. So this is my 1 year with Tava, and I love it because I got to meet beautiful sisters like Erica. We connected on the fact that we both did yoni steams, and she is the reason why I ended up having like a day and a half at a Canna nurse retreat I think was it July? I think it was July. No,
September.
September. It was
It was
September.
September. Mhm.
And it was the most beautiful reset I ever had in life, and met some beautiful people, met the owners, met Anna, and yeah, we just connected. And she's a Canna nurse. She's on Instagram as a Canna nurse heals.
Yeah.
And this is 420 week. So we was like, you know what? We're gonna start the week off talking about last week we ended up talking about on Mama Health Show, the spiritual medicinal uses of the euthogenics of the mushrooms. So it fits perfectly to talk about the, the medical and the spiritual medicinal uses of cannabis and cannabis. So,
Mhm.
I'm gonna say, Erica, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, go ahead and introduce yourself because that's what we're here for.
Yes, thank you so much, Danielle, for this. I know we weren't able to get together. I had something come up, but I feel like it was meant to be this week because I didn't even think about it being 420 week when you first said it. I'm like, oh my God, this is the week we were supposed to connect. So thank you for this opportunity to be here with your community. I'm so excited to just share with you all and learn as well because I feel like every opportunity is a moment for us to learn something new and connect with some new human souls out there.
Mhm.
So I am Erica Danyelle. I go by Canna Nurse Heal. And that's on Instagram is where I usually post information and share a little bit of me. I got into this I've always been familiar with cannabis, but I didn't understand it as plant medicine until 2019 and 2020 when I decided to take that even further and take a class to become a medical cannabis consultant where I could actually work one-on-one and with groups to help them understand plant medicine outside of the stigma that we've known for so many years and help guide them. I don't prescribe, treat, or diagnose anyone, but I can definitely help share my experiences and my knowledge as a human, as a woman, as a nurse to help people safely consume cannabis and doing it with intention. I've gotten really into the wellness side of it and pushing more on women's wellness and women's sensuality, sexuality. But when it comes to cannabis, it can honestly make a difference for any human being out there. So, yes, I'm always rooting for the women, and that's making sure we're taking care of our bodies and embracing our sensuality, our feminine essence. But at the same time, I can also discuss cannabis with any audience because, like I say, it has something that can help everyone. But for us ladies that are here, I think it's so important to realize how this amazing plant, which is the female plant that gives all the benefits. There is a male and female plant when it comes to cannabis, but it's the female plant that holds all the goodness, all the nutrients, and also how important it is to think that within our female bodies, there are so many receptors, especially in our female organs that respond to cannabis. So I've always thought, like, how amazing and interesting is that of all the plants out here, that it is this female plant that has so many benefits for our female bodies. It's like it was made for us, really. And even how Danielle was saying, there are so many people who look at cannabis and are, still remembering years ago from Reagan and these different agendas that were being put out there. And if nothing else, I can say that goes to show the power of word and how someone can just take words, regular words, put them together and create a thought in our heads that we agree with and say, yeah, maybe that is bad, when it's really just someone's words and opinions in their agenda. And it had nothing to do with the plant. It had all to do with their agenda to keep Black and brown people in their place, quotes, in the air. That's really, it had nothing to do with the plant. This plant has been around for centuries and has been used as medicine for centuries. It was actually listed in the US Pharmacopoeia, which is a book of all the medicines that is still out there now that they update throughout years. And they had it listed in there in the early, like in the 1800s, it was listed to treat many health conditions, especially women health conditions. So again, this medicine, as I like to call it, was always beneficial. But again, there was a shift, and it was used as a way to just criminalize and find a way to, since we can't enslave these people, let's find a different way to keep them trapped. And so that's all. It was a trap. That's what it was. And so even with that, I say the one good thing we can take out of that is understanding the power of your word. Because if you think, if there's a couple people can take nothing but just regular words, no evidence, no research, just words and opinions, and create a whole agenda that's lasted over 30 years, think of how powerful your words are if you use them intentionally and properly. And I don't even know what made me say that, but okay, universe, I'll go with it because it had nothing to do with today's message. But just want to say, just look at it from that perspective. You can create something that can last 30, 40, 50 years and do something that really makes a positive impact with just your words. They did something that really wasn't a good outcome, as many people have done in history. But we can begin to change that game and change that narrative by using our words with intent and with purpose, and empowering ourselves and each other. So I don't know what made me say that, but I'm just going to roll with it. Now, when it comes to
I'm gonna stay on what you said about that, because what gets me is the powers that be that put such a negative stigma. Don't tell me that no somewhere in your life, probably somewhere between teenage and early adulthood, that you wasn't somewhere, you know, in your country club or boathouse or wherever, that you guys weren't indulging in this, especially knowing that most people indulge in other illicit stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you hypocritical, because don't tell me that you weren't, because I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
They definitely were. Definitely were. They were definitely using the products and using the people. Okay. So yes, that is very true. I do encourage y'all, if y'all have questions, I like this. I mean, I don't know what the format is, but I'm all about us just having a conversation. Even though I'm a nurse and just my background, I've been an RN for over, oh my God, now 17 years. I'm actually now working, I work a couple days a week in hospice. So I definitely understand when you were discussing people in that stage of going through that process of dying. And a lot of the patients there are not using cannabis products. I know for me, it definitely helps me as a nurse when I'm not at work, when I'm getting prepared for work. I don't consume high THC products before I go to work, but CBD just definitely helps keep me calm and steady and focused. So I definitely do use that pretty much most days. I'm an author. I created my baby, I like to call her, A Woman's Guide to a Delicious Life, How to Medicate, Masturbate, and Meditate Your Way to Bliss. It's a quick,
I didn't know that.
Yes, I'll have to send you a copy. So I have an ebook that is out. It's a quick read. It's pretty much like a conversation with your homegirl, where I do go over cannabis as medicine. I discuss even yoni herbs. When we go into the masturbate session, it's not, some X-rated craziness, but it's just really about reconnecting with our bodies, being comfortable with our bodies. So it discusses certain things that you can do. Again, this is not anything crazy X-rated, but very simple things that you can start to do or add into your daily routines just to show your body some love, pouring back into you. And then when it gets to meditate, discussing what is that? What does that look like? And also different ways that you can meditate. Not everyone is comfortable with just sitting somewhere quietly. They don't know how to do that. They don't think they can do that. So it's a quick read that just gives you a very brief overview of these topics. I think there are 3 topics that are very taboo in our community, but I think they are very necessary to be discussed and that we need to start having conversations about, especially because they all have such a benefit on our health and our wellness. And that's something that I think now is becoming, I don't even want to say a trend. I'm just glad that people are becoming more aware that that needs to be important. You know, if they feel like it's a trend and that gets people on board with taking care of themselves, hey, I'm all for it. But I hope that it continues to be something that's a part of just the normal routine for women and others out here. So
Also,
yeah,
I
that's just
see
a little bit about me.
Star, you got your hand up. You got a question?
Yes, Erica, how
Hello.
are you? And thank you for
I'm
coming.
good.
What is the difference between CBD and THC?
Yes. Okay, I'm so glad you asked that because I'm like, where do I start? So CBD and THC are 2 of the many. There are actually over 100 different nutrients that are found in the cannabis plant. CBD and THC are 2 of the main ones that you're going to see. Those are the ones that are in the highest abundance in the cannabis plant. The big difference between those 2 is THC is what gets you high. That's the biggest difference. That is the easiest way I can break it down. It has, of course, its amazing benefits in our bodies, inflammation. It can even help reduce cancer cells, help with nausea, with pain, with sleep. But it's going to affect you. It does affect your cognition, your sense of time, and it will give you that high feeling. CBD, on the other hand, is what I say, you get all the healing without the high. So it has many benefits as well, from pain regulation, helping you get good sleep, helping you have clarity and focus, relaxation, anti-anxiety. But it does it without affecting your cognition where you're not going to get that high feeling. Another thing to know is that when you're seeing CBD products and you're seeing things like, oh, this is hemp derived, and it's like, okay, what is all this product? So marijuana, how a good way to look at it is you've got this cannabis family, right? And the mama has the cannabis plant. She had a set of twins. She had marijuana and she had hemp. Marijuana, I always say, that's like the fun girl. Everyone knows her. You know, she's quite popular, likes to have fun. Her twin sister, hemp, is a little more reserved. She's a little laid back. She's the nature girl. She just wants to lay low, have fun, but in a more spiritual, relaxing way. The big difference between them is, yes, if you were to physically look at a hemp plant and a marijuana plant, they have a different look. Hemp plants are more stalky, tall, slim plants, as opposed to marijuana, which is a little bit thicker kind of plants. Another big difference is when you look at marijuana, it will have a high THC and a low CBD. Hemp, her twin sister, will have a high CBD and a very low THC. That is why right now you're like, well, how am I seeing CBD everywhere? Is this illegal? Is this legal? If it's coming from the hemp plant, the THC level has to be 0.3 or less, which is not enough to get anyone high, not even probably a small child, because it's such a small amount. The average THC in marijuana plants can be anywhere from 20 to 30%. So when you're looking at 20 to 30% compared to 0.3, that's nothing. So that is the big difference when it comes to CBD and THC. There are definitely, like I say, over 100 other nutrients in the plant. Some of the common ones that are starting to now come out: CBG, CBN, THCV. There are so many other nutrients as well that make up that whole plant. But CBD and THC are just the most common, and they're the ones that are in, like I say, the higher abundance in those plants. But it depends on if it's marijuana, if you're going to have like that high THC, your hemp, where you'll have the high CBD. If that
And
makes sense. Yeah.
are you able to tell the difference? Because you said it's a nutrient. Um, how do you? So, okay, is there hemp? Not hemp. Is there CBD inside the marijuana plant too? It's just not as prevalent.
Yes.
And you know how to tell the difference when you look at the two, not the plants, but like obviously they're taking the THC or the CBD out of the plant. Is that true?
Well, what they do now, if you're trying to see how do you know what's in the plant you're getting or in the product you're getting, is that what you're trying to figure out? So this is why it's important to get products from companies or people that you know that are reputable companies, because anybody can slap a label on something and it may not be that. So anytime you're buying products, whether it's actual flour, like flour itself, now this is actually just weed flour, but whether you're buying flour or you're buying gummies, just so happen those are sitting right there. Either one you're buying, you want to be able to have access to a lab analysis. Products that don't have a lab analysis, I would steer clear from. When you're going to the dispensary, those products are of a higher quality. They do have to go through regulation when you're at the dispensary. They have a higher quality and standard of what they will allow in their stores. So that is always a good place to start. But nowadays you can buy CBD online. You can go on Amazon and Groupon. You can go to your gas station. You can go to Tava and see, that is what I like, is having products that you can go to that can tell you what's in it. So when you're looking at a lab analysis, and this is a CBD product that Danyelle has, so that doesn't have any THC. So even a good thing to think about, people who have to get drug tested, they're like, oh, I can't use any products. Well, there are still some you can use as long as it doesn't have THC. If there's no THC, you will be set and you don't have to worry about not passing a drug test, even with the coffee. And that's what I love too, is there's so many different options when it comes to using different type of cannabis products. But you can ask, and if you go online and get a product, they will have something called either a certificate of analysis or a lab analysis. That's going to tell you what's in that product. From if it's CBD, how much CBD is in there. If the other nutrients are showing up, like CBG, CBN, if there is any THC, it's going to list a percentage of how much is in there. That way you know what you're getting. Now, some companies are very thorough in their lab analysis, and some may not be it just may list some of the different, the nutrients, the scientific name would be cannabinoids, but they're nutrients. So that is a way to find out what's in your product. But like I said, when you're going to the dispensary, a lot of times in the dispensary, those are they do have hemp CBD products, but a lot of times their business is more marijuana, the high THC products in the dispensaries. So it just depends on what you're looking for. But I always say you can ask for a lab analysis. If they're kind of like, oh, or giving you a hard time about it, that may not be a product you want. Because you have to also think these products are grown in the dirt and soil. And if that is some bad soil, it's going to produce a bad product. The lab analysis can even let you know if there's any bacteria, any fungus. There are some that list everything. So you want to know what's in that plant as well as what's not in that plant or product that you're getting.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I always do. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sheila, you're muted.
At the dispensaries, do the state still require you to have a license?
No.
A card? Okay.
Not in Michigan. We are now considered a recreational state. So as long as you are 21 and older, you do have to have a state ID or license to go in, but you do not need to have a medical marijuana card. No. The other flip side of that is that people who do have a medical marijuana card, you do, just to let people, you may already know this, but they don't get any education on what to get. They just get a card. So that's why it is important for us, whether we are healthcare professionals or just everyday people, to have knowledge about cannabis, because most doctors who are writing the prescriptions or giving you the cards, they don't really know about cannabis either.
Yeah.
They don't. That's just, it's just another avenue for them to make money, honestly. They don't know. They don't give you a care plan. They don't say, okay, you should try this product or this. They just give them a card. And now this could be someone, whether it's a mother, a father, someone's grand, it could be just anybody walking into the store. That can be intimidating. You know, you're going to a store and there's this 20-year-old behind the counter and there's a whole plethora of products and you're like, I just have this card and I've got pain issues. I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
So it's so good that we, and that's why for me as a nurse, and it's crazy because it was actually me talking with patients. I was doing case management for a while and I started having a lot of patients who were telling me they were using cannabis. And as a nurse, I didn't know what I was supposed to say. I had no clue what to say other than, I knew cannabis was weed and I knew you could smoke it. Mm-hmm. I knew that you could take edibles, but that was really as far as my knowledge went. I had no clue. And when I asked every single person, everyone that I asked, I'm like, well, what do you say to your doctor? Or what do they recommend? I don't tell my doctor. And I'm like, well, why are you telling me? You don't even know me. This is over the phone. You see your doctor. They didn't feel comfortable. So I'm like, okay, this is now legal. I feel like people should have some knowledge on it. You know, they should. You know, of course, there are, like you say, there's not anyone who has died from cannabis. It doesn't affect our brainstem. So that's the reason why you can't overdose on cannabis, because it won't affect your respirations, your breathing. It doesn't affect our heart rate. As with some drugs, where if you take too much, it can stop your heart, slow your breathing down too low. Cannabis, it doesn't affect anywhere in the brainstem. It doesn't, there are no receptors in the brainstem that it can affect. So that's one of the scientific or reasons that it doesn't cause you to overdose. Yeah, you can have too much cannabis, yes. And that is not a pleasant feeling either for some people. So having that knowledge, and that's why, like I say, I love to work one-on-one or in groups, providing education, because like I say, some people think, oh, if I just get a card, then I'll be okay. You still will have the same amount of knowledge you had before they gave you that card.
So where did you get your knowledge from?
I took a class called through a company, Consume. Consume is for healthcare professionals, and it was created by an African-American nurse, which really drew me in. She was at that time in California, and they were in person. And she was doing them, I think, at that point, it was just in California, and then she had some in Vegas. And when I decided to take mine, that was when COVID hit. And so I was the first virtual group, or a part of that first virtual group, but it was an 8-hour all-day class. And it was intense. And that's when it really hit me, the history. Like I knew Reagan, I knew the, war on drugs, or what I thought I knew. And I think more than anything, the history is what really was like, oh my God, I've been really lied to. Not that I've never thought America lied to me, because I'm a Black woman in America. Yeah, they lie. But it really was like, oh my, everything I've ever thought is a lie. But yeah, she went over the history, goes over, in our body, we have something called an endocannabinoid system. And that is actually a system in our bodies, like you have a cardiovascular system and you have a reproductive system. We have a system that is specifically designed to actually make our own type of nutrients that are found, like how we were talking about the CBD and THC. Our body can make those same type of similar nutrients in our body. And so even when we take cannabis from the plant form, though that plant form, whether we're doing Sesky, whether we're doing CBD coffee, whether we're smoking, or however we take it, when we consume, it responds to that system in our body. And that endocannabinoid system has a hand in pain, sleep, cognition, our mood, our reproductive system, our metabolism. And when you think about it, those are a lot of things that we struggle with on a daily basis. I don't get enough sleep. I'm in pain. My mind is cloudy and foggy. I got a bad attitude. Those are the things that really, really affect most of us. And people say, well, if I got a system in my body, why do I need a plant? Because many of us are overstressed and our bodies are out of balance. There are many of us who are stressed out, And when we become stressed, our bodies are out of balance. And that's where disease shows up. That's where these different symptoms start to arise. The word disease itself is dis-ease. Your body is out of ease. And so that is when we get out of ease and out of balance, that's where things can kind of sneak in and start to happen. The endocannabinoid system's whole purpose is to create balance in your body. That is its whole purpose. From regulating the central nervous system, regulating how we sleep, eat, think, our mood, our appetite, all of those things are affected by that. So we go over that in a class. We learned about the different ways to consume, some of the laws which have changed, because at that point, there were still many states that didn't even have legalization. We went through that. Dosing of cannabis, how to help create a cannabis care plan. It was a wide range of information that we got in that class. So I took that class back in April 2020. And I also, for a couple years, was teaching the class to healthcare professionals. And now, like I say, I do just more one-on-one. I also am open for group sessions, but when I work one-on-one with my clients, I make sure to give them a bit of the history, because sometimes people are still coming with that apprehension, that previous knowledge of, oh, this the devil's lettuce. What are you? I don't know about no weed. I ain't smoking no reefer. So I made sure to
Or
give
that
them
it's still a gateway drug, or it still is
Yep.
it's a gateway drug. This is gonna lead to other stuff and everything like that. It's
right. Not at all. The gateway to wellness. And when you think about it, a lot of these prescription drugs that people are taking, that has become more of a gateway.
well, look at the fentanyl situation. Look at the whole issue with the opioids and everything like that. It's like you guys created a whole zombie situation. And the only reason why they're taking more attention to it is because it's their people. So, because if it was us, they wouldn't care. But because it's y'all people and y'all created the situation, now all of a sudden it's a crisis that you have to deal with, but you created it in the first place.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't know if you all, this is a little sidebar, but the series Dope Sick was really, really good, because it talked about the whole crisis of the opioid crisis, how it started. And it's really like the real history of the company that created oxycodone. Like it is such a good series, but it's crazy because it even shows that in the beginning, they didn't really care because it was poor white people. So they didn't care. It's that now that it's becoming more, I guess, people who matter, again, quotes in the air, the fair skins who matter, who are now becoming dope sick, that now we need to make an issue. Because whether you're black or white, if you poor, no one cares about you. You could be the whitest of the white. If you don't have green, no one cares. So that was, if y'all have never seen that document or that series, it is really good. And no people on there look like us. But it's interesting to see how the legal drug system completely messed people up. Completely.
Well, there's the one black girl in the beginning. That's the friend.
Oh yeah, I forgot about her. Yeah.
Wait, what's the name of it again? What's the name of the series again? So I can put it in the chat.
Dope Sick. I think it was on Hulu. On Hulu. Dope Sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Hulu.
Dope.
I have to say that this is so much
STICK.
information.
Yeah, DOPESICK. Dope Sick.
This is so much good information. I'm taking down so much good notes, and I normally don't do this, but I'm about to have a second cup of CBD coffee because I'm like, this is zoning in right here. And I'm loving this, like how you're putting everything together. And I also, while I'm sitting here, I just created like 5 events surrounding this, around this, and I'm like, you know what?
Yes.
we gonna get together. One of them is I call it Smoke and Wind Down. You know, we need to sit down and talk. We also have a husband and wife team that does sound bath, and I swear to God, I just came up with something called Smoke and Sound. Like incorporate a sound bath with I got some ideas.
I even do that. Like I have my little sound bowl over here right under my little altar table, and I'll even do that. And because I don't mind smoking, and that's just something I wanted to go over as well. I'm glad you brought that up. Is I like people to know that there are so many ways that you can add cannabis in. Like You already put up 2 different products that are THC free. So again, you don't have to worry about, am I going to be high when I take this coffee? When I add these drops, am I going to be feeling a little too woo woo? No, you're going to be calm and relaxed and feel good, but you won't be high. But you also have to be aware that there are some people who are not okay with smoking. They're just like, I don't want to smoke. I don't want to smell like weed. I don't want to smell like I was smoking. Or they may not just be able to because of whatever, maybe their health conditions, maybe smoking just isn't an option. Edibles are great. I've had to learn how to dose them, because I've definitely had times where I took way too much and I was on a plane, and that was the worst experience of my life. And after that,
I bet.
I was like, oh no, I'm good. I don't want to do that. But again, the one thing I can say that a lot of people don't like when it comes to cannabis is we're so used to a quick fix. This hurts, I take a Tylenol and it's fixed. Where when it comes to cannabis, it can sometimes take a little trial and error. It does take for you to be present in your body and pay attention to, what am I feeling? What do I need right now? Okay, let me start with this small dose. People like this microwave life and things to be quick, fast, and in a hurry. I need it right now. And so that sometimes is the struggle, where people want to just take something and they're like, okay, fix me now. And a lot of times when it comes to using cannabis, we have to continue to use it, because some people have such a broken down endocannabinoid system from years of stress, from years of imbalance, that they need to take something on a regular basis. And that's why I like having products like where you can just take a daily cup of coffee. You can add the drops of Sexy. Why do I keep saying Sexy? Oh my God, Sexy. I don't know why I want to put the S before the K. I don't know why I want to keep doing that. You can do something like that, very simple, that can start to help rebuild and support your endocannabinoid system, to where it may not be that, not everyone takes drops the first time and they're like, oh, I'm amazing. It may take a few doses to get their body back stable to say, okay, now I feel good. But you can even do body creams. Like, I don't know what's been going on with my knee lately. I'm like, okay, I am over 40, so this knee has been killing me. I will not take any prescription medicine. I've got my CBD. This is one I used to get from a nurse in Vermont. Like, she just stopped her company and now she's just all into the legalization in Vermont. But I still have her balm that I just pulled out the other day, and I've been using that. And it's funny because I put some on before I went to work on Friday. Yeah, I worked last Friday, and I put it on, I think, early in that day. And I was like, dang, like my knee hadn't hurt the whole, like it's just now Monday and I'm putting it on again. But I'm like, wow, that really lasts. I didn't have to take Motrin, which I know is good for inflammation, but I also know Motrin affects our gut. And it can definitely cause ulcers. It can cause bleeding. Your gut is where a big part of our immunity is. So if you think about it, you want to keep your gut healthy as possible. Also, your gut is where a lot of your serotonin is made. Serotonin is what makes us feel good. That's what helps reduce anxiety. Think of people who are taking medicines for depression, anxiety. They affect certain receptors in our body to boost serotonin. Well, think if we kind of going back and not trying to make this a whole type of thing, but even going back to that, doing a regular detox to cleanse your gut, providing your body with things to help maintain a level of balance using different cannabis products. One, that'll help boost your immunity and also boost that feel good, that relaxation, where you may not have to take so many over-the-counter or prescription drugs. So just again, seeing how these things all tie in together. But yeah, when it comes to cannabis, from bath bombs to topicals, there are suppositories you can use. You can create your own butters. There are so many, and even butters for cooking with.
This is funny. This is Dr. Teal's. This is Dr. Teal's Cannabis Sativa Hemp Seed Oil with essential oils. This is a body scrub. I also have the shower gel and it's the Epsom salts. Them bad boys will relax me better than the one with the lavender. So I'm like, yeah. Okay.
And okay, I love that you brought up lavender, because again, something that people don't think, and a way to normalize cannabis. So lavender is gets its smell, and that feeling of relaxation you get from lavender comes from the terpene linalool. Terpenes are found in hops, they're found in the seasonings and herbs in your kitchen, they're found in other plants and flowers, and fruits. They're also found in cannabis. Terpenes are what give things its scent and flavor, and they also have therapeutic benefits. So in another example, like lemon, people like lemon because it's uplifting and refreshing. And that also comes from its terpenes. Those are the same things that are found in cannabis. So sometimes if you smell a cannabis flower, it may smell like, you may say, oh, this smells kind of piney. It may smell kind of like a pine tree. There are certain, it's alpha pinene, that is a terpene that, again, you'll find it in pine leaves, but it can also be found in cannabis plants. So there are so many similarities from the same herbs and fruits and vegetables that are in your kitchen to the cannabis plant. It's not just this foreign thing that's just so taboo. It is literally a plant. And I think when we really start to look at it, it's just a plant. It's a plant. So that was another thing too, and that's something that if you're buying products, you can ask them, or you can look to see. Some products tell you what terpenes are listed. And that can even tell you what type of effect you're going to get. I know that came up about it can either have you sleeping really good or super creative. That is more so based on the terpenes that are in it. It's not just people say, oh, I only can smoke a sativa, or I only can smoke this particular strain. Yeah, that sometimes does work, but it really is about the terpenes. The terpenes are what gives you the effect, whether you're going to be knocked out cold or uplifted, energetic, and like, oh my God, I got an amazing idea. Those are from the terpenes that are in there. So when you brought up lavender, that made me think about that as well. So it's
since you spoke about scent, I'm gonna tell you a little bit story. I have a friend of mine. It has an urban farm. We have to take a field trip because his farm is on Pyramid. It's off of Pyramid in St. Mary's, and this is a cannabis coconut-based cream that he gave me a year ago. I bought it from him a year ago. You see how much I've used. It's edible. I put it in all kind of stuff, but I use it as well. Well, he has this urban farm. I'm standing next to him while he's trimming these trees. These trees are like 9 feet tall. And we're just talking, having great conversation, had a wonderful strawberry banana scent to it and everything like that. Had no idea he was trimming weed. Had no idea that was weed. Because first of all, the scent, sometimes you get that skunky smell. Like, what is that? Then I didn't know that was cannabis I was standing next to. Like, I'm touching it. And I'm like, he was like, well, I'm trimming my cannabis right now. What? Huh? What? Who? And I was like, that was just an experience for me because I've never been that close to cannabis like that and it not smell like it. I can touch it. So when he's like, well, when I harvest this, I'm gonna make the CBD bomb. I was like, okay, you know what? Please let me know. And I'm like, this is it right here. And I'm like, I absolutely love it because I have, like I said, I have my medicinal medicine for when I need it. I may not use it every day, but especially after the the sciatica episode that I had about 6 weeks. Once I actually got over the medicine that they gave me, because that was an experience I don't ever want to go through again. But since then, like I said, I haven't touched the medicine that I filled up. The muscle relaxers and the ibuprofen, have not touched them since then. I've gotten back to my medicinals. I got back to the cream. I've gotten back to my sexy. And like I said, I feel like I'm in class right now. I'm loving this. I'm taking notes. And I see how everything is coming together, especially when you talk about the terpenoids and, lemon, lavender. That's what's in the CBD salve that I made when I went to the Canna retreat that you invited me to. Lemongrass, because lemongrass is in the sexy. Lemongrass is also in the the cream that I did at the retreat. And that's also good for the pain receptors because they mentioned it when they rolled this out at conference. First of all, when they rolled this out in conference, Krishan, which is the woman that had the Tava networking event that we met at, she made the Jello shots. So they introduced this to us in Jello shots. So baby, when I said we were feeling good, When I said there was a woman there that had a distributor that had pins in her foot because she just had surgery. So she's walking around with the scooter. After taking a Jello shot with the sexy in it, she was dancing. It made that foot feel good. I was like, okay, I even have an aunt that I take care of that has high anxiety. I don't share my sexy. I'm sorry. I don't share my sexy. I got her to try it, and it dropped her anxiety down to the point. Guess what? Guess who? I got an order. She sent me her money so I could place an order today so she can have her sexy. One squirt goes into the bottle, goes into the drink, goes into whatever. It calms you down. It just relaxes you. And like I said, it's a good way of she's getting her own bottle so she can start to control her anxiety. Because whatever it is that she's taking, it's not working. She's like, I need to calm down. I need to calm down. I need to calm down. Okay, you need to get your bottle of sexy. So I have to say, yeah, I am a product of the product, and it does work. And I like having what I need, what I need for when I need it. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's something for everybody, because whether you just like, hey, I need something to help me relax at night, but I don't want to smoke. Maybe you need, like you say, infused body creams or a body butter. Maybe you need the bath salts, they're bath bombs. Maybe you prefer, if you do edibles, knowing how to dose that. I can say CBD edibles are a lot more calmer than the full-blown marijuana weed edibles. But again, even if you're doing marijuana edibles, I do say go slow and slow. Cut it in half. Start with 5 or 10 milligrams. And the thing with edibles, they can last up to 6 to 8 hours. And sometimes it takes an hour for it to kick in. So again, for people who are like, I need something right now, I need to feel it in this moment, edibles is not what you want, because it's going to take some time, and that's a gradual high. So for people who are taking edible and they're like, I don't feel nothing. Taking edible, I don't feel nothing. Next thing you know, they're somewhere in the corner paranoid or months out, can't stop eating or trying to cut the TV on with their phone. Yeah, you need to
you're
go
making
low
me,
and
I swear to God, what I have not done any plant medicine like this and incorporate it into the healing modalities that I do, like my belly dance, like my yoga, like my sensual dance. And now it's like, you know what? And this is where we talk about, what is it? Doing sacred medicine with an intention. Now you're gonna make me want to do something like that, because I've done it where I just sit down and relax and I'm like, I'm chill and I'm here, and but to take it to that next level, to create a ritual around it and actually infuse it, I can't wait. I can't wait to
like
see.
even before I do yoga, like I'm so mad the weather now is back cold, but like I like to do it outside. I like to be in the fresh air. But I'll usually roll up. And to me, even I like pre-rolls. And some people are like, I can't roll. Pre-rolls are amazing for people who cannot roll up.
I need pre-rolls.
Yeah, so that's always something that is good. Now for weed edibles, the pre-rolls that I like, they're not too expensive, but I know it's a company called Jeter. They're very mini. And so they look like, oh, this little thing ain't gonna do nothing. But I'm telling you, they are powerful. And they have such great flavor. Like they have like strawberry flavor. But they come like, I think, a 5-pack. And the first time I had it, I was in LA at a birthday party that was amazing. This amazing party I was invited to, me and my husband, and we're like, these little joints, this ain't gonna be, we couldn't even like smoke one together. It was like, okay, this is a couple hits and I'm good. But even like I say, if you're not gonna roll up, for me, rolling up is like a ritual. It's like a practice that I do so I can roll up on my own. Even when I'm rolling up, it's just like, I know that I'm going to use this cannabis to help get my body relaxed, help me to be. Because I say we've become human doers as opposed to human beings. Like in the moment, we could be on the Zoom and our mind is already on tomorrow. Or, okay, at 12 o'clock, I got to do this. As opposed to knowing how to be. We were created as human beings. And we get so disconnected from being because we're task oriented. We're so stuck in that masculine. I gotta go do this. I gotta do. So for me, rolling up is like a moment to just be in a moment where I can just focus. And before I go do yoga, like I'll smoke before yoga. And it does relax. It's even good for people who do any type of exercise. Cannabis is also good for pre and post workout recovery. It can help with keeping your heart rate, decreasing heart rate, can help with reducing muscle soreness. So again, if you're a person who goes to the gym, maybe smoking isn't your route, but hey, put your little sexy in your water before you go to the gym, or take your coffee before you go to the gym. Maybe you want a cup of coffee before you go or after. It's gonna, again, this is a way to help maintain that balance in your body, get that good workout, but not feel so sore, not feel like,
Thank you. Because that's what I don't like. I'm about to start lifting weights, and I don't like how my body feels like when I lift the weights. There's that muscle soreness. So now you just gave me another way of taking the products that I have so that I'm not feeling so. Okay. Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
And then think of, sometimes we just have that anxiety of, oh my God, I got to work out. Oh my God, this is going to be difficult. Oh my God, oh my God. When you use cannabis, you're more relaxed. You're like, okay, I can do this. And I've even noticed that even with just doing beyond yoga, with actual, real workouts, whether it's muscle training or strengthening, where I don't get in my head, because it's easy to get in your head and be like, okay, I'm gonna stop right now. You only did 2. You only did 2 push-ups. You could at least did 5. Now come on. But when you're using cannabis, it's kind of like you're out of your head and you're back into your body. You're allowing yourself to feel and say, okay, I can push through this. It's just a way of relaxing. So again, another way of using it for something else that you can do, for things that you may already be doing. And like I tell people, you don't feel like you have to create a whole new routine. Think about what it is that you do throughout your day. When is it that you need it? Some people need to pick me up midday. And that's why I do like our Caprice coffee, the Tava coffee, because that is the one coffee of all the coffees I've ever had, the one coffee where I don't get that crash. I don't get a crash, and it does not make me run to the bathroom. That is, because usually coffee is like, wait a minute, kind of make your stomach a little. That's the one coffee where my mind is super cool and clear. Like I work midnights when I go to work, so I can take my coffee. I am good all night. I'm super chill. My mind is clear and focused. Like I say, I don't want to use something that's going to have me too high. I like the high. The high doesn't bother me, but there are certain places I don't need to be high. At home, it's good to be high. Baby, not at work.
Now, I love our CBD coffee as well. I wasn't a coffee drinker until I joined Tava because I wanted to be a product of the product. First of all, it doesn't taste like Folgers because it's got Colombian bean coffee. Second of all, I become my own barista. I done made this into iced coffee. I done made this into like the Frappuccino. Starbucks misses me because I don't go to Starbucks anymore. I have one of our team members call this coffee with benefits because it does, not only does it have the CBD in it, it has the chaga mushroom in it. And I've been gotten on this chaga mushroom with this inflammation. And I'm like, you know what? I don't feel pain. I mean, not like that, but and when you talk about giving you relax and focus and ease, I'm not thinking about what I got to do after here. I'm sitting here taking my notes because this is some good information that I didn't know about. But this coffee right here, you know what? It does give me focus. I mean, I absolutely love it. And I'm like, it's different than something you get from McDonald's, than something that you get from Starbucks. It's not the same coffee. It's not. It's not. It's definitely different. And I noticed the difference. Like I said, I don't do 2 cups of coffee in one day, especially not this one. But this conversation right here, just because I have my cannabis medicinals a lot around with me, I'm like, you know what? I want to stay clear. I want to stay focused. Let me get another cup because the taste of it is so good. I go through my coffee so fast. I'll be like, damn, I done gone through that already. Damn, okay. But today I'm having a second cup because this is a good conversation. Danyelle, my other Danny too, my herbal sister here said the best smoking experience to me is out in nature near the river. My fiance and I love while we're sitting smoking while near the river. I gotta try that. I'm definitely want to try that. And then Sheena Bina.
I recommend it. It's definitely like if you're trying to like incorporate it like spiritually, like definitely go out into nature, especially near the water, like because you just smoke it and then you just go into an instant meditation mode when you do it. So I highly recommend it.
I agree with you, Danielle. When we were at the retreat, Danielle, before you got there, like they had the hammocks out in the trees, and I had took my blunt rolled up, and I was in that hammock, and I could have stayed there forever. Like
Girl, I saw
I
the
didn't need
Instagram.
no
I saw
phone.
the Instagram. Okay, I was like, okay. When I saw that, I was like, okay, I can't wait to get there. I just can't wait to get there. And sidebar, ladies, the retreat space that she's talking about, I am planning a retreat for the Elizabeths, probably somewhere around August or September. So get ready, because we about to go and we about to incorporate everything that we've talking about, the essential oils, the cannabis, the eating healthy, being out in nature. We're gonna do all this, so it's
Yeah,
coming.
you're
I
gonna
just
love it.
let you know.
And the cup of coffee and a joint, I think that was Sheena that said that. Yes, I agree. That even before I had before we had the coffee with Taba, or before I got into Taba, actually, I'm more of a tea girl. Like right now, I actually have a hemp tea that I'm drinking. It's hemp, ginger, lemon, mint. And this is so with the yoni steams I do, I have a sweet yoni tea that you can drink to also help keep the yoni well and juicy and happy and healthy and whole. But this is the hemp, ginger, lemon, mint, one of my favorite. But I love tea in a smoke or my coffee in a smoke. So I feel you. That is like a good way to start your
You
morning.
know what, Danielle? I was actually
Exciting.
blessed. I was actually blessed with like a container of hemp. I have it in my storage in my apartment because I didn't know what to do with it. But now that I'm getting a little bit more education on, you said that tea? Oh, baby. Okay. I'm about to
Yeah,
go
make
into
you
my
some
herbal laboratory and I'm about to play. No, because I got a nice container of hemp and I'm sitting here like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but I'm going to do something with it. And now I'm like, you know what? I'm about to go into the laboratory and start playing. Thank you.
yes, yes. So
Thinking of make a soup
definitely,
because
and that's
you can make
oh, go ahead.
the leaves too. Because I've seen somebody make a cannabis soup with the leaf part.
Oh,
You
yeah.
said
And
I see that.
cannabis soup?
Like I would love to try to throw that in the soup. 'Cause I'm always experimenting with herbals in food. So
That's why you my herbal sister, because we would throw some herbs up in there, and I like to sneak herbs in my food all the time. Like
yeah.
you gonna get some goodness out of me, pretty much. But I love it. But see, I'm about to go and I'm on research and do some things like um, especially and because I've been looking at the Levo machine. Like I really want to get into the
That
infusion.
is what I need to
Oh,
get.
I
Yeah.
got the magical butter machine. I love it.
That the magical butter
That's
is
what I
what
need to
Anna
get.
used to infuse what is it, the have the cannabis butter when we did the when we made our cannabis salve at that retreat. She
Okay.
used the what do you call it, the magic butter.
Yeah. So far, I made a cannabis oil with my machine. I used olive oil and infused it with some hemp flowers. And then I also made a tincture, but not with the hemp. I made the tincture with some other herbs. Like I had like some bitter herbs, dandelion and burdock. Because you can pretty much put any herb in that machine, that you want to infuse and make products with. So I made a
I'm
tincture.
coming to your house to play. I'm gonna come. We gonna set a play date. I'm gonna come over to your house and play. That's what I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that
do.
butter is amazing. And even like people who may not have those products, you can still, if you have a crock pot, that was one way that I would do mine. Since I didn't have it, you can infuse in a crock pot. So if you don't have, I got some people may be like, oh, I don't have all these products. I gotta buy all this stuff. Yes, they are good. And that is on the Levo is something that was on my, and I forgot to ask Santa for that for Christmas. Let me sure I should put that on my birthday list.
What
But
does that look like? The Levo or
They're similar, the Levo and the magical butter machine too. They're very similar.
aren't they like, it made me think of like a magic bullet in a way, like the way it kind of, the shape of one, it kind of looks like the like those smoothie thing machine. It kind of to me looks like that,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
there was a sister that she did it at a restaurant and she prepared a meal and everything had cannabis in it. The whole meal. She does that. That's what she does. She'll come and yeah, you could do a party and she'll show you how to make your whole meal, everything, vegetables, starch, all that, and what to put in there.
mm,
Mhm.
So cool to have those type of events. I don't know. Are you all in Michigan or in Detroit area?
Yes,
Because
majority of us are.
Where
Now,
are
see,
you?
I
Where
think
are
I
you?
explained to you. She's here in Detroit.
I'm here
Okay.
too.
Mhm.
Yeah, 'cause I was gonna say because the Copper House, which is on the west side of Detroit, it's a Airbnb, but they also rent it out for different events, and it's a smoke-friendly space. Black women owned, but they've been hosting events like each week. It's been like they had charcuterie and chill the end of March. We had a women like a spa day one day where we were doing yoni steams. They had facials, and it's all smoke. I mean, you can come in there and smoke or whatever. But I know even Danyelle, you were talking about rolling. Sometimes they do a rolling class as well. But they have and they had like a whole infused dinner one night. So they do a lot of different events that are open to the public to come. So if you don't follow them, the Copper House Detroit, or if you're ever looking for spaces to rent out, that is definitely a nice space. They have a nice backyard. The basement is amazing. But yeah, I'm looking at doing some events there with them. We have an event coming up to plan. They've already, I think we've got the first quarter's done. So now we're looking at doing some events for the second quarter. But it's a nice space that, like I said, they're always having infused events. It was one night we were there, me and my husband went, and they had like because it was in the fall, so they had like cider, hot chocolate set up, and then they had like edibles, like infused chocolates to add to your hot cocoa. Then they had the weed bar came and set up. They even had mushrooms available if you wanted to purchase them. So it was, and then they had infused food. I think their chili was infused. Yeah, because it was in the fall. So they had like different foods and things. So yep, that is it. That is it. Yeah.
Oh my God,
And
this
it's
is
actually right in the city. It's on Monica Street. So like right in the city at that. But yeah, it was nice. And it's so funny because when we had the women, like the spa event, my mom came, she does not smoke, but she was like, I almost was about to take a toke. Cause like everybody just sitting around in the living room smoking. She's like, it didn't seem, I guess, what she in her mind thinks like, oh, people just smoke and don't do anything. But it was such a sisterhood of women of all ages from all different backgrounds sitting on this big old couch. Some people getting yoni steam, some people getting massages, just smoking and coming together. So just wanted to drop that. Like I said, I like to just share good info and knowledge, but they do always have a lot of events. And also if you have a business and just a way of networking, they just had like a content creation class. Like they do so much, but just wanted to drop them because they are amazing. And they're big in cannabis. Yeah, the charcuterie and chill bomb things that they have going on there.
Oh, we are going to create, like I said, I got like 7 events so far. I didn't create 7 events so far from this conversation. And I'm just like, oh my God.
And it's so much still that we haven't even, like I say, even just going into the sexuality part of cannabis, and that is so much. The spiritual side, I know we haven't really gotten too much into that, but for me, when I got into meditating, cannabis is what I needed to help me calm my mind, because my mind goes 7,000 miles a minute. It can be on every
Your mind's
single
always
thing
going like all the time. Like even if you speak, it's still going.
Going. I'm like, and so so that became my practice. I'm gonna roll up. I'm gonna take a couple tokes. And that was a part of my breathing in and out, breathing it in, breathing it out. Then I would allow myself to meditate. And then even in the book, like I say, the masturbate part came as well, but that's a whole another crazy story.
No, look, Erica, we have like 40 more minutes. Okay, we can go in. Open up. No, this is the type of platform you could talk about everything.
Yes.
We're spiritual ones
So,
here.
and that's really how
we are women here. So I'm like, if you want to go there, let's go there. We can go there. You ain't gotta be shy around us.
So that is how this book came about. Like during COVID it's crazy because none of us knew COVID was gonna happen. We were gonna be living in a pandemic when 2020 hit. But I'm glad that I had already decided that I needed to reconnect with me. Like, I'm now grateful for past experiences that I had because they brought me to that place of reconnecting and I feel like a reemergence of who Erica was, because I had got lost in the sauce over the years. And so 2020 comes, and I had already started in 2019 creating these new habits and routines. And so, like I say, I'm getting into my meditation, my cannabis. And I remember when I was starting my meditation, I was doing the chakra meditations. And it was so funny because I would be smoking and I'm doing the chakra and I'm starting at my root. And I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good. And then I would get to my sacral and I'm like, I'm feeling good. Like, it was like, I really got, and I'm literally just sitting there, but it's like, I could feel like the pulsating of my lady part, like, and I'm like, okay, well, this done went way left from meditation. Let me get to know me a little bit. Okay. And it was so funny because it was like every time I tried to do that meditation, I could never get through it because I would get to the sacral area and I'm like, hey, my body is saying she needs some attention. Let me give her some attention and love. Then I began to actually, one day I said, okay, I'm going to actually just move past that feeling. I'm going to feel it, but I'm going to keep moving up and do this whole chakra. And I remember that day, it was like, I guess that sexual energy and me allowing that energy to move all the way up and go through the chakras. It was like, I don't know how to put it in words, but like a mind orgasm. It was just like, I felt like I was completely floating. Like I had a power within me, like freaking She-Ra or so. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And so again, I just kept doing that. That was my routine. Finally was able to get through. But I remember waking up and I'm like, I just feel good. Like the birds would be chirping. I'm like, it's a pandemic. People are freaking out. And I'm waking up like, this is amazing. Life is great. And it's like, how do you feel like this in a pandemic? And for me, it was really weird because I never felt like that outside of a pandemic when things were normal. And I remember even waking up and I'm like, this just feels delicious. Like, I don't know what I have no idea why I said that particular word, but I'm like, oh, this is amazing. I'm loving life. And having been in a place where I hated life. I didn't want to be here. I had many days of crying, of doubt, of why me, God, what is going on with my life? Being so down to now waking up and I'm like in a Disney movie, I'm like, this is big for me because just a few short years ago, you wish you wasn't even living. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now you over here like, oh, the sound of music, like it's floating through life. And I start really journaling, like, okay, what is it that's making me feel this way? What has got me in this kind of vibe and mood? And it was that I was more intentional with my plant medicine, that through connecting with my body and learning to love myself, and even like with masturbation, and even not just, like I said, it didn't have to just be on that physical side, but even just sometimes showing my body love in ways that didn't have to be me physically doing anything sexual to my body. It could just be wearing sexy underwear under some jogging pants. Like I could be looking crazy to the world, but I'm like, oh, I'm so sexy under here. Y'all don't even know. It could be, I ended up buying this cute little mirror off of Amazon, like all jeweled up, and I sit it it's right next to my bed. And every morning, my routine was to get up. I put that mirror down there and I'm like, good morning, gorgeous. Hey. In the beginning, it was weird. It was weird for me doing that because I had become so disconnected from my body. But it was these little things that I started doing that started to, again, allow that reconnection to myself, allow me to love myself freely, to not feel like, am I doing too much? Because I agree, no, you ain't doing enough. You know, I think so. And as Black women, sometimes we feel like we have to downplay ourselves on so many levels. We can get a compliment and be like, oh, it's nothing. No, as opposed to saying thank you. You know, and I know for me, I've done this so many times. People say, oh, that's cute. Oh, this old thing. Oh, this ain't nothing. We're so used to downplaying how amazing we are. I was just to my son, like we were created for greatness, but we've been conditioned to settle. Oh, it's okay. I don't need much. I don't want to seem like I'm bragging. Brag. I'm like, brag. You should brag, you know? And so these things help me to reconnect with that part of me and be okay. I've realized for us, I love to see women doing well, brag on it. That to me, seeing a woman being able to live out loud and show how good she's doing, I don't see that as a negative on me. I see that as, oh, that's hope to me. If she can do it, why can't I? If she's out here shining bright, let me get under that light so I can see my path a little bit. So it helped me to even change in that. And then, like I say, adding in that meditation part and making that a part of my routine helped me realize I could calm the hell down. My mind didn't have to go 700 miles a minute. I didn't have to think about everything. And what I was thinking about was either mad about the past or worried about the future. I wasn't never in the moment. Never. I was stuck in them two places that I really cannot do anything with. I can't do nothing about the past. The future, I'm worrying about something, and who knows if it's going to happen. A lot of times we worry about things so much, and many times it don't even turn out the way we think. And we've just created unnecessary stress. We didn't already say it. Stress affects our body horribly. That's why we have extra belly fat. That's why we have all this disease. So I'm allowing extra stress to worry about something I don't even know is going to happen, or stress about what has happened that I can't change, but I won't focus on anything about right now, which I do have an influence and impact on. Like, Erica, what have you been doing? What have you been doing all of your life? And so those things together, those which I call my key ingredients, medicate, masturbate, meditate, help me create a delicious life. And when I got into it, I'm like, I'm not telling nobody this. This is crazy. Because again, you a nurse, or you a wife, you a mama, you can't talk about these. You a Black woman. I've seen white women do it and no one gives them a problem, but I know I can't do what white women do, right? I don't get the same level of respect or acceptance. And I kept hearing this voice like, but there are people who look like you who need to know it's okay, who need to realize they are not alone. Because for a while, I thought it was just me who hated life, who was depressed, who felt boxed in, who felt like, yeah, I have all these things. I'm married, I've got my kid, I got my career. So I should just be happy, right? You got what else you need? And people would even, well, what else you need? What you need? I needed me. And I didn't know how to express that. And so I'm not saying, oh, cannabis is everything and it fixes everything. But it was a way for me to get out of my head, to get back into my body. And through that, learning how to be present, learning how to take advantage of the present, learning how to, once I was out of my head and loving my body, once I got back into my head, I knew how to think clearer. I knew how to speak better, how to use my words properly, how to do things with intent. And again, that book was created, and like I say, I was super nervous. The version of me that is online, I laugh at it sometimes. People are like, oh my God, you be saying stuff I want to say. And I'm like, girl, I've always been the person to say stuff, but I would have never done it on that platform ever. But now I'm like, I don't really care. Y'all don't have to like me. This is what it is. If you don't like it, you can easily unfollow, and I've had people who've left and they wasn't for me and I wasn't for them, and that's okay. But I'm learning to accept who I am, not need validation from others. And yes, cannabis was like I say, it wasn't the end all be all, but it definitely played a big role in the reemergence of me as Erica, this woman, this happy, healthy, whole version, because I was not happy, healthy, or whole for a long time. I was here, I was existing, and I was cool, but happy, healthy, whole, no. She was not any of those things for a very long time. And it's not to blame anybody or to say someone didn't give that to me, because I had to also realize those things were already in me. And whether we have a partner or have our children, they add to what we already should have within us. And that's what I had to realize. It's nobody else can fill my cup. I have to be a well woman who never runs dry so that people can pour into me, and that's overflow. But I can't expect this empty cup to just be like, fill my cup for me, please, so I can be happy. Fill my cup so I can feel sexy. Fill my cup so I can feel empowered. No, I have to learn how to do that for myself so that it's an overflow. So that whatever you bring to it just adds. You just add an extra to what I have, and I can freely give to you because I have overflow. So that has just been some of my journey with this whole little process. Like I said, when I took the class, I honestly wasn't even thinking about me at that point. I was thinking I had been doing my own little new habits and recreating the version of me. But when I took the class thinking, oh, this will help me with my patients, not realizing that I was the patient. I was the first patient that it would really make a difference for. But I'm glad that I was at the point where I knew how to listen, because I had been asking, like, God, I need something different. Like, yeah, I've been a nurse all this time, but I wasn't even feeling nursing anymore. And I just wasn't, just nothing was bringing me like really joy. And I kept saying, I need something. So it's crazy how it came to me through my patients, but I was open enough to say, maybe this is more than just me using this for work, to have left that field, got out of nursing for a bit, and now to do it on my terms, doing something that I truly enjoy. Like I say, working in hospice. Now I don't work full time anymore. I've made a commitment. I would not work anymore full time, but to do something that I truly enjoy and to do it from a place of feeling whole makes such a difference. Like, and I think that that really can apply to anything that we do. I know sometimes I like to tell people, living in your greatness or even being created for greatness doesn't mean, oh, you're a millionaire, you're an entrepreneur. Everyone's not going to be a millionaire and entrepreneur, but you can still be great. You can still find purpose. You can still find pleasure and really enjoy life and still live without a sense of lack. You know what I'm saying? But it really comes to tapping into yourself, being okay and open to allow God to use us for whatever that gift is, you know? So I've had to remind myself of that. And other people think, oh, well, my greatness, that means I'm supposed to be making 6 figures a month. Well, that's an option, possibly. But how about you just learn to love yourself? How about you learn to be whole? And sometimes it's through your purpose that you'll begin to bring in profit, not even trying to. That doesn't mean you still can't work for the plant or work at McDonald's or work wherever. You can still have that job to, you know, because maybe that's what pays your bills right now, but that doesn't mean that you can't still live with purpose. So again, some of these things, I'm not even sure why I'm saying them, but I'm like, okay, if that's what I'm supposed to say,
Because
then I'm
because
going to say it.
because essentially you are in the embodiment of what Elizabeth really is, and we are Elizabeth, and Elizabeth is women who get together. We are pregnant with passion and purpose, and when we get together, our babies leap. So your baby is leaping right now because you're in a group of women where, on a spiritual level, on a physical level, on a financial level, on the emotional level, you're the embodiment of each and every last one of us. So that's why you're just going and you're flowing and you're connecting the dots all the way around, because you are just naturally that. And that's what that's what we are about. We are about, when we get together, that baby, that creativity, all that. Like, as you see, my baby is over here creating events.
Okay.
Like nobody's business. I'm over here creating, and I'm like, okay, I'm excited. This is like really tying all of the knowledge that I've had for years, and I didn't even realize it. Just naturally, I didn't realize I was already on that path of doing it, but didn't realize I was doing it until I connected with you. And it's like, you're just tying it all together. So that's why
It's all making sense. And that's why I tell people a lot of times, anytime I'm doing events, I very rarely put together like, oh, let me put together a presentation. And there are times when you do need that, but I'm like, I also gain so much more, even myself, just from the organic flow of things, like universe, goddesses, ancestors, y'all just lead me and y'all let me know what I'm supposed to say. Because if I do it that way, I know it won't be no mistakes. And the message that needs to be delivered will be delivered. If you need to use me, there were times when I'm like, why would they want to use me? And again, that's me in that condition. Settle, you're not good enough. I was like, oh, I can't say that. Who am I to say something? And then it's crazy. I remember sometime I would just post a video and it was more so me talking to myself. And somebody may inbox me like, girl, I needed that. And I'm like, for real? Like, oh, I can be used. Raggedy old me can be used. And then I had to say, no, you've been through experiences. But even when you think, I don't know what anyone's religious background, but what I can say, what I do know of the Bible, the people who were used were not perfect. Okay, them stories weren't about no perfect people. They were hot mess people. They had been doing a whole lot of hot mess things. So it reminded me that I can be used as a vessel to deliver that message I don't have to be what is perfection, really? Are any of us perfect? It is and I put up a post one time, I'm not perfect, but I sure am purpose. I may not be a perfect person. I probably didn't use the word person, but she may not be a perfect one, but she's a purpose one. Let's be clear. And I had to be okay accepting that, because for a while I wasn't. I would again get stuck in that, ooh, past Erica, ooh, she done did this and she did that. How's she gonna say something? Because what I've learned from that, I can now take that and say who I am now, not what I'm worried about gonna happen because of what I've done, but where I am right now. I can take that experience and that knowledge that I've gained and share that. And if it reaches someone, it does. If it's just nothing but me talking to myself, reminding me of who I am, then that's good too. So yeah, it's been a journey, but I'm so grateful. And even having these moments to connect and talk about plant medicine, it's funny. I would have never, ever thought, ever, that this would be something that I would do, that I would enjoy it so much, that it would be like my routine. Like it has become a part of, like, just a part of who I am. I would have never thought that. I thought that I would just be nursing forever, which sometimes I hate it. And like I say, now I can do work where I don't hate it. I still see that my purpose is beyond that, that's not just all that I'm here to do. And that's what, like I say, learning how to get that reconnection, how to disconnect from the outside and reconnect with myself, helped me to understand that. To where, yeah, I can still go to work, because people say, oh, well, you should just quit your job. And I've done that. I've quit my job. And then when I did that, I look back and say, okay, yes, in that moment, it made sense. But I needed that to happen to kind of, again, continue the journey, to grow some more, to learn, to where now I can say, I can still work. I'm only going to work part-time, no, because that's what I want to do. But I can do it and still feel content. I don't have to go to a job and feel like, oh, God, oh, I can't stand. Like when I go to work and some people be complaining, I'm like, I'm in such a good place. I'm blessed. I wake up in a state of gratitude. Yeah, are there days when people gonna get on your nerves and try you? Yeah, we're human. But I'm able now to say, oh, catch yourself. You're going in that downward spiral. We don't think like that no more. That's not how we think. That's not how we move, Erica. Stop doing that. Let's get back lifted up. So even those little things that show me you have made progress, because there was a time when you would have went in that downward spiral and stayed there. There was a time when I used to have panic attacks. I remember sitting at a desk working and I would just get so overwhelmed. And I'm like, having to go outside, like, oh, I can't breathe. Oh my God. And I'm like, you haven't had that happen. I even remember falling, like, and I was even saying, like, dang, I used to fall all the time. Like, but now when I look back, you were out of balance. You were so out of balance. Your body was like, girl, I'm about to make you hit this floor. Maybe one of these falls, and she'll start to realize she needs to get it together or something. Maybe she'll fall, hit her head and get it. I mean, when I tell you I would fall for no reason, just the last time
I fall.
girl, I remember I said, maybe I need to get a walker like right now. I mean, like what is wrong with me? And I have now, since the last fall was August 2019. And it's crazy because after that, I had a Reiki session in December. And that was like the first time I ever had Reiki. After that, like that completely was like a change. And I'm like, I had to think about it. I think last year that I was like, I haven't fallen. I have not fallen since 2019. And that was when I began making the shift. And like I said, having that Reiki experience where I felt something leave. I don't know what that was, but something did not need to be there. And I'm like, dang, I used to fall all the time. I used to feel certain ways all the time. And I do encourage.
I feel like that sciatica issue that I had was my body telling me, hey, I need you to pay attention to what's going on. And I'm like, first of all, I move too much. I dance too much. When I can't stand up to cook no longer than 5 minutes on my leg because something's going on, I'm like, okay, I got to get my products back on order. I got to get stuff back on order. I did have a massage session. We have a sister named Dr. Nicole, and she's a master herbalist and a body massage therapist that incorporates body work. I haven't been doing my massages on a regular basis. I haven't been, because money got funny. So now it's like, you know what? I can't allow that to be an excuse. I have to do the healing rituals in order to do what I need to do because of the energy that I'm expelling for even just doing caregiving. You know, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm starting, your body will let you know, hey, I need you to pay attention to me. I need you to do something. And what's funny, you know, my mate has a certain mentality about using the mushrooms and the medicinals. And I'm like, he's been listening to this whole conversation. And when you take it to intention, because like I said, we're used to seeing people or having family members take it, don't do nothing, not doing nothing with their lives, and they just take, but they're not taking it with intention. They're not taking it for, they may take it for the pain, but it's like, yeah, you can move through this. You can dance around this. You could still take it for the pain, but still move to do something, to be productive, to, you know, yeah, I'm like, you know, I am so happy we connected. I'm happy. I want to connect. And let me tell you this, as a Yoni Steam practitioner for years, I have not had anybody who I trust to guide me through my Yoni Steam sessions because I just haven't found anybody, not to sound like, you know, conceited. I haven't found anybody on my level who I trust. I trust you. So we're going to talk afterwards.
Yes.
I take people through a meditation journey while they're steaming. So I'm like, I have not had nobody be able to do that for me. So we gonna connect. We definitely gonna
and that's
connect.
the part that when people, they're like, oh, you do all of that? I'm like, and we do it in such a way, because some people are like, I ain't never meditated. I'm like, it's okay. I promise you don't have to have experience. You just relax and just listen.
Oh, Mama Evelyn got her hand up. Yes, Mama Evelyn.
Oh, well, I just wanted to say that Nawili and I had a conversation about herbal medicine yesterday, and I was saying that in my early 20s, I smoked for maybe a year, and it was because of who I was hanging out with. And first of all, it made me want to eat tremendously, and I didn't need to eat like that. And then all we would do is sit around and they would talk shit. And I'm like, this ain't for me. And it was funny that the friend I had at the time, she didn't support me in my decision to stop. You know, and I was like, y'all don't do nothing. You just sit around. I said, I don't mind relaxing, but you know, let's go out in the nature and do something. You know, we're not just supposed to be in the house looking at each other. I was just wanted to say that because you should be. Oh, I would love to delve back into, you know, maybe not I'd like to for the pain relief of some things, and also to tap into get more into my creative side. I would love to do that. So yeah.
I got some events, Mama Evelyn, and I feel you. Like I said, it wasn't until I got around Queen Aduni and her husband Phil, and you know, at that time they smoked, but I saw the creativity that came out of it. I saw the deep conversations that would come out of it. I'm sitting here like, I've never experienced this before. Like, you know, unfortunately, like, you know, my boyfriend's sister, they don't do anything. They smoke, and then it's like nothing productive happens. But I've been around a crowd of people who've done this. But now that I have a group of people who are using it to heal, yes, I want to be in an area with a sound bath and charcuterie board and mimosas and get a massage with the CBD cream while I'm drinking my coffee and infused with the soundness. Yeah, let's do that. Let's incorporate the healingness of it all. I told you I've been creating here.
Yes, but you know, I had to start asking for my tribe, and that's why I think it's important too. Because when I started, like I say, I've been familiar with cannabis forever, but you know, I didn't know people who smoked cannabis and did anything. But that again, we had to think back to, we were created for greatness, but we've been conditioned to settle. So the people that I was mostly around, they were okay with just doing nothing. And for a while, I was okay with doing nothing as well. Once again, when I made that decision that something's got to change, like I don't like the way I'm living, I don't like what's going on. And I didn't say, oh, I don't like the way I'm living, God, bring me weed to fix it. I just said, I need something. And y'all who are above me, y'all know what I need. So guide me to that. And even once I start doing this, and I was like, I remember, and it's so funny, I wish I could find, because I have like so many different journals where I write stuff. And I was just writing down things that I wanted. And I would laugh like, ain't nobody gonna be asking you to speak nowhere, Erica. It's funny to think of the different platforms I've been on, even people that I wanted to work with. And I'm like, girl, they don't know you. And I did that, like actually work with some of these people, actually had events, to be here speaking with you in this community. It's like, you wrote these things down, laughing, thinking this wasn't gonna happen, but you were asking for this. I'm like, God, I need that community. I need certain women around me. I didn't know where these women were at. To think you are right here in the city, not even knowing that the people I needed were right here. It's so crazy how I'm like, this is what I need. And with doing that, now I can be amongst women and we can all sit and smoke. And like I say, and come up with amazing ideas, come up with ways to support and nurture each other through our growth and healing. I'm like, oh my God, this is not what I thought of when it came to, or this is not what my experiences had been before when I was younger and smoking, and it's just, you sit around and you smoking and you like, okay, let's go get some White Castle. Let's go to Burger King. Let's go get some snacks. Now it has turned into.
I know for me, I have experience eating edibles and smoking, and it does heighten my sensuality. I've experienced that. But now I'm ready to dive in and like I said, create these rites and rituals so that I can be more creative, so I can, bring more of me out of me, so that I'm out, I'm in the sisterhood. Yeah, I'm down for it. This is like taking things to
even the smoking, being able to smoke and do the yoni steams. And that's what I noticed with the women who were doing them at the event at the Copper House. They were already smoking. So some of them there, and it was so cute to see women who didn't even really know each other, but they're both steaming together. They're like, you got a lighter? I got a lighter. Like, they became friends and sisters. And it was like, this is what we should be. And it's amazing, like I said, that this female plant can not just reconnect us with our bodies, but reconnect us with each other. Because I think that's also been something that as Black women, oh, I don't make no new friends. I don't trust this. We can be very leery of people, and we always think it's an agenda or what they want from me. And so it's something how with this plant, it has connected me with some amazing opportunities and women, life experiences that I'm like, this would have just never had, like, I would have never thought that this could come from this plant. Like, it really holds so much magic and power. And when we understand it and use it from that intent, like I say, there are people who are like, oh, I just smoke it because I want to smoke. But once you start, and I've even had people I work with, but I'm like, okay, when we talk more, you are taking it because you stressed out. But they don't even realize, again, because they're so disconnected, they don't realize, oh, I am using it as medicine. People say, oh, I just smoke because I want to, or they don't think of it as like that, but because they haven't been taught that. And that's really what it is. And even sometimes in those spaces where people are smoking and doing nothing, if there's just one person among them that maybe starts to help them start to just think about stuff, in that moment, sometimes people are like, oh, here she go being all prolific, and here they go with all their thoughts. But sometimes somebody has to plant that seed to where maybe they don't get it right then, because I've been that person where people have planted seeds in me that weren't ready to grow at that point. But I can look back now and say, now I can see that little seed starting to bud a little bit. I remember when somebody planted that seed a while ago, and I'm like, oh, okay, girl. And it's funny because I was speaking at an event. This was 2021. Yeah, because I ended up going to Vegas and spoke at a Women in Cannabis event. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, it was in Reno, Nevada. But before then, I had did an event in Detroit. It was Labor Day weekend. And I was saying to them how I remember in 2013, a girl was telling me about the power of my word. And to this day, I still talk to her. But she's like, do you know how negative you are? And I'm like, I beg your pardon. She's like, you speak so negative. And I'm like, no, I don't. Things happen to me because, it's, and I was always something. Ain't nothing ever working out. And she told me to look at The Secret. And I'm like, what is that? And I remember watching it on YouTube. And it's crazy because I'm like, she planted that seed in 2013, but I didn't nurture that seed. So it didn't grow. I didn't water it. I didn't continue to feed it. And that's something that I've been really intentional on, is whatever I do, I have to continue to nurture it. It took almost 7 years for me to say, oh, I need to nurture that seed and start pouring into that and to see the difference that happened. I wish I would have done it in 2013. Who knows what life would be? But I also have to be thankful that it didn't happen that way, because certain things needed to happen. Because who's to say if the way it happened is how it needed to happen? Because that's why I'm here with you amazing ladies on a Monday morning, because things had to happen that way. Okay, go ahead.
Now,
Yes.
Queen of Dooney got a question.
Yes.
Well, my question is actually, I'd love to see who Sheena is. We need to see at least one time. Is that your daughter?
Sheena.
Oh, you know what? I thought I said Sheena. I've heard, Well, hey, girl.
Baby.
What a pleasure to have you to join us. We
I
see
knew
you
she
back
was on
as
this
you go out
call.
the door.
Well, they was
sometimes.
y'all talking my language because I'm a cannabis girl. So
Okay.
yeah. My mom was like, "Oh, you gotta jump in." I said, "Oh yeah, this is
have-
me all day." Mom has
Good.
access. I got like, because it's with recreational, all you need to be is 21 with your ID, and you can go to any dispensary and get whatever you want. And so like usually like if we go out like in the daytime, they have like AM gummies, so it's like you're still high but it's more of a sativa, so you're more up. And then you have the indica when you want to kind of
Yeah.
bring it down. And they have like the because I have a roller, like I have like all the accoutrement. I used to, I would roll, but I done got lazy, and I just like to buy the pre-rolls. That or just get the pre-rolls. And now they have pre-roll blunts too, which, because I don't know how to roll. I can only roll with a roller. And they have the you can get like a and they have like deals and stuff. And then you can get like it's like a pre-roll blunt. It's like this big, but it's like 2 grams like packed in there.
Yeah.
And it's nice.
You gotta get it. You gotta get. Now, I am 70 years old.
Don't she look good?
Back in the day, they would have seeds all throughout the weed.
Oh, there's no seeds no more.
Yeah, thank God, because all of our clothes have holes in it. The seed popping out. And I had this nail that would come and curve around right here so that I could pop it out. I could pop it out and stuff like that. But if it was in there in the joint, then if it fell, it was hot, so it would burn your clothes and stuff. And so you always knew who was getting high, because somebody would be a hole in their clothes somewhere. But I do want to do this for Mama Evelyn. I have a short trailer that on the other topic of what we're learning, just that we always stayed away from, was the mushrooms. And there is a video that my husband had me to watch. It took me forever. He said, wait till you get to the end, because it really talks about the medicinal and the healing. One lady, she was in the 4th stage of cancer, and the doctor had given up on her, and her son had her to start doing the mushrooms, and it's all gone. So I just wanted to play this right quick for you ladies. It's a what do you call it? Let me find it right quick. Here we go. It is a just a trailer. So and so this is what it's fantastic fungi, whatever way you say it. Okay, so watch the whole thing. Let me see. Let me get it right here.
Believe nature is intelligent.
Can you see it? Can you hear it?
Yes.
My mission is to discover the language of nature, and I believe nature is intelligent.
There is a world under the earth full of magic and mystery. It holds the consciousness of nature's connection to all living things.
These mushrooms, they can heal you, they can feed you, they can kill you.
It's not like a vegetable and it's not like an animal, but it's somewhere in between.
They support life, they convert life.
As you're walking through, it's about 300 miles of fungi
Under every footstep that you take, and that's all over the world. The bulk of the organism is growing underground, and it's composed of these long threads called a mycelium.
Almost everyone knows about the computer internet. The mycelium shares the same network design.
It's amazing what we don't know about mushrooms. They really are a frontier of knowledge.
You can filter water. You can create medicinal compounds almost on demand.
They have incredible capacity to make things change very quickly. So I am super hopeful.
The psychedelic members of the mushroom kingdom are fascinating.
I have been a guide for around 350 psilocybin sessions.
The most glorious part was that it made me feel more comfortable with living because you're not afraid of dying.
We need to have a paradigm shift in our consciousness. What will it take to achieve that?
We can heal the planet. We can build the future. And our world is fantastic.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Creeping. I like to microdose with mushrooms. So yeah, I would love to see that whole documentary. That would be amazing.
Dewey, can you put that in the chat? And Erica, I'm glad we had this conversation. One, I don't think I ever got a chance to tell you that we actually have a conference coming up May 12th through the 13th at St. Matthew's Episcopal Church on Woodward. And it's all about business, spirituality, the Elizabeth, we're combining everything together to help women birth their vision and passion. We even have a birthing ritual that we're doing on the 13th. We got sound bath. I know I'm doing I'm starting to promote the business of social media, posting for profit, purposely posting for profit. We're just engaging because we got artists here. Mama Evelyn is a wonderful artist. She has a company called How Does Your Goddess Grow? You could do dowel with a goddess dowel making, banner make, all kind of wonderful. She's got make and take stuff that you can create classes, and I can see creating a class with the smoking. Ooh, that would be fun. Queen of Judy.
No telling what will come out. Woo!
All the creative energy gonna be flowing.
Yes, Queen Aduni here is a natural hair pioneer. Okay, she's one of the people that started the natural hair movement here in Detroit back in the 70s. Her and her family, Everett's Natural Beauty School and Salon. They teach natural braiding and hair care. She's also a wonderful businesswoman, detailed as can be. She is an amazing teacher. She's an amazing singer, vocalist, singer, she is definitely a creatress because she creates like nobody's business. And usually we have more women on, but I know most people will catch the replay. We have people that own natural beauty products. We have people that sell natural beauty products, natural cosmetics. It's a sisterhood, and I definitely know they're going to see the replay. We have one girl that was on here. She sells waist beads. So we're coming together and we're putting this all together. And I do invite you to, attend and invite your other sisters to attend. I'll send you the flyer and everything, the website to register. You will love it because you say you want to find your tribe. I love these women because I feel like I'm the middle child. I'm not the baby because Lolly is like the baby. She's like 28, 29, somewhere around there. I'm 41. And like you said, Queen of Dooney's, 70. We have a woman who's in her 80s who's natural, plant-based, and vegan.
God, yeah.
She teaches us how to heal. it's like we all incorporate together. So we're bringing everything together in this conference. But like I said, you're in Elizabeth all the way around, like period. Like just there is no if, ands, or buts about it. You can join us. We have the show, that platform that we do is Monday through Friday. So I'm Monday. There's another group that does Tuesday, another group that does Wednesday, another group that does Thursday. Queen of Duty does Friday. And this is what we do. This is exactly what we do. And like I said, your conversation is right in line with what is it, Spirit Traveler, talking about the eugenics, you know. And then she was on my show last Monday. We talked about being a doula. You know what I'm saying? The doula. So it all goes hand in hand. And we are here. Like I said, I think you found, and I'm finding my tribe in other tribes in other ways, but this one right here is the one where everybody, we incorporate all of it. All of it.
It all comes together. I love it. I'm so grateful to have been a part of this morning. I'm like, I'm usually not a morning person at all, just from working nights, but this was like right on time. I so needed this. So I thank you, ladies.
What's the name of your book? A book again? So I can put it in the chat. And how do we get it?
It's on my bio. You can click the link in my bio. I need to put it in here. But yeah, on my Instagram page, the link in my bio takes you right to it. It's an ebook copy, and I've even added some extras in the back where it's some goal tracker sheets I have, because my thing is I didn't want you to just read a book, get some knowledge and be done. I wanted people to still be able to put it to use. So I have a goal tracker. I have a cannabis journal template. So if it is your first time using, and you want a way to keep track of it, there are template sheets that you can actually print out, and you can put it's very detailed. So depending on if you're using edibles, smoking, vaping, what type of strain, and then also if you want to share that information with your healthcare provider, because some people don't feel comfortable. So it's the book and some little extras in the back to again help you on your journey and keep you going, not just to read and get entertained, but to actually put it to use. So yes,
Erica,
you will
what's
find
your
it
last
there.
name? What's your last name?
My last name is Bradford.
Okay.
Bradford. Erica Bradford. I'm not on social media as Erica Bradford. Ma'am?
On social media, you are who?
Cannon Nurse
Heals. I'm going to her right now, so I what is it? Get her a link in her bio. I am so inspired. Like I said, I didn't know. I'm so glad. Like you said, you don't know how life is going to lead you, because I don't know if you know my story, but you know the woman that got me into Tava left. So she left 3 months into me joining, and I'm thankful for Krishan because she held that event, and Krishan is the one that has held me down the whole time, but didn't know I was going to meet you, and I'm so glad that you aren't in my life. And
it was divinely set up. It was meant to be the way it was, and I'm glad that we both were present and able to allow the universe to work its magic, because it happened exactly the way it needed to. It did. Me even coming to Krishan, and like I say, I've known Krishan for so long. I met her years ago. So it's so crazy how like that even came full circle to be at that event that day. And I planned on just coming and staying for a minute because I was supposed to meet a friend. And I ended up staying the whole time. I'm like, I don't even want to leave. So it worked out perfect. And I'm so grateful. Like I honestly do not take these opportunities for granted, these moments. So I just thank you ladies for being here today. And yeah, Canna Nurse Hill, that's where I'm at on Instagram. On Facebook, I'm on Facebook a little bit, but if you are more Facebook friendly, I'm under Erica Danyelle RN on Facebook, but most of my stuff is mostly Instagram.
And I will say I'm feeling the effects of 2 cups of coffee right now.
Mm-hmm.
I will be chill all day, but I just want to stay focused. And like, ladies, I do have my 5 for 35. So if you want to try the coffee, I suggest just try it. Because I'm like I said, I wasn't a coffee drinker, but this has become part of my ritual, my daily ritual. I like what the herbs does for my body. And I'm like, this is going to be a 420 week for me. I already know. I'm like, I'm indulging. I will indulge with intent. That's what I'm going to do this week. And document that, because I'm like, it's so important. I'm like, I'm geeked. I am so geeked. And I'm like, you know, I'm here. And Mama Evelyn, you just gave me testament, like, hey, maybe it's time to take this, do it again, but didn't do it again with intent, and, you know, see what comes out of that. And yeah, that I'm
You're gonna
just
love
like,
that. It's gonna be a whole different experience, a whole different. And now, like I say, sometimes we have to go through things, go through life to see things differently. Oh yeah, it would be an amazing smoke session, even with to have different ages, all from different backgrounds, different, like I say, life situations, all coming together, smoking, happy, laughing, and with purpose.
Smoking with Beyond.
I am loving it. Listen.
Oh no, because Sheila's husband is, I told you, Sheila's husband is a keys player. He has a they have online, if you can actually get the link from the Beyond Queen and put it in there so she can see, he has this audio music that's amazing. And I'm like, to put him in a space where we can do some yoga and some smoke and live music, live meditation music with the, yes.
Erica, what's your phone number? I'll text it to you because it's not open for everybody.
It's 313-307-2784.
Good.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. And I have this one that we talk about journals. I have this journal that I got from the Wonder Woman conference that I spoke at a few weeks ago. And her name is Janae Porter. She's a massage therapist. I'm definitely going to this right here is called the wish list. You know her?
I think I know her from a Facebook group with some, oh my God. And I remember her writing a book. Is that her?
So what I like about this is that it's a wish list. I mean, half of it is about your intention, but the other one, because I need all my space stuff in one location. So it's just really writing your intentions out, your wish list. And in here, I have one called events. And I wrote down all of my events. Like I put, you know, my body wish list. I have my relationship wish list. So I like it, one, because it's Black owned. I can finally put all my thoughts in one location because Lord knows they come. But I'm definitely going to get her on my show. I can see her at one of my events with Dr. Nicole because I'm all about the body work, the mental, the physical, and the spiritual. And I'm like, we about to put some things together.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Oh, I was going to tell you, ladies, before I forget to, if anyone, because it's 420 week and actually it's just all this month, I even have some, because I'm all about the sensuality, the pleasure pusher. So I do have some infused products that are also through my link in the bio. So if you're looking for like topical creams, CBD infused lubricant, these are all THC free. So I have some little things that are available as well. They are already marked down. I've got some bundles. I've got individual products as well. So you've got some other little goodies if you need something for 420 week and beyond. And yes, for solo or with a partner, you know, but there are also some things that have nothing to do with sensuality, but just also with women care, because I'm big on us taking care of our bodies and things. So there are some things for that as well, along with the ebook that's always available.
Okay.
Awesome.
And you can always reach out to me if you have questions after this. If it's something that you're like, wait a minute, can you go over this again? You can send me a message. Or if you got my number, you can reach out. I'm definitely down to earth and love to have these conversations. So I'm always here.
I love that you was here. I love as soon as the replay populates and I get the link, I would definitely make sure that you have it, because this was an excellent conversation. This is a conversation I've never heard before, honestly, not on this level. And I'm like, I do believe more women need to hear the plant medicine message. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, okay.
This was nice. I loved it.
Thank you. And you are an Elizabeth, and like I said, I will send you the flyer and what is it, the website, So if you want to go ahead and you want to be there. First of all, we have some amazing vendors, but you get to meet the other Elizabeths in person.
Right.
And I really do believe you definitely have found your tribe. Yeah, I'm definitely I'm ecstatic right here, and we gonna work together. I got some ideas, some events to put together. Seriously.
Good. No, I know. I sent you over just right now. And it's crazy because that's the thing. The universe just works out the way it's supposed to. I swear. I've learned to just be in the moment, not try to make things happen, let things flow, and it does. It surely does.
I was taking notes. I took notes. I was like, okay. I got that cannabis, that hemp that's in there. I'm about to go in that storage unit and get that container. And you said I can infuse this in a crock pot. I got a crock pot. I got
with your butter.
jar.
Yep. I've got I use the muslin cloth when I'm draining it, just to get all the excess flour. But that's how for me, because I don't have the device that the lever or anything. That's how I do mine. I do it old school in the crock pot. You can do it in the oven as well, different ways, or even on the stove. But I just use my crock pot. And I've been making my infused olive oil, butter, coconut oil. Amazing. So, yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so very much. This was amazing. And yeah, if you guys want some CBD coffee or some sexy, let me know. Like I said, this is my go-to when I don't feel like smoking and I don't feel like edibles. She gets the job done. I can just add it to my drink and I'm like, I'm good. I'm chill. I love my sexy. So thank you so much. You want to go ahead and give yourself a hug. This is what we do at the end of every Elizabeth says. Give yourself
Okay,
a nice
and let me just throw in here that there is a major sale this week to kick off selling to get the tickets. Vendors, we're good. We're good with the vendors. We can still get a few more, but it's time to get our audience in there and invite all our sisters. We have this week only. The first one, the second one is half. The third one is half of that. The fourth one is half of that. And the fifth one is almost half of that. So you got 5 people that can get in for $63 average, that if they just split it all amongst them. For this week only. And Reverend's going to show us how to sell our tickets. It's not a selling, it's how to enroll. This is a landmark conversation. How do you enroll people to want to get up off that money, right? And make time for themselves. So also remembering that Elizabeths are these sisters that you hang with. You want them to come where they meet other sisters to hang with and stuff. And that because we're all Elizabeths, the information is going to be very relevant to what we deal with in life, like what you have been sharing, Erica, that about your tribe, and that so I just wanted to let everybody know this is the week to grab your girls and let's do this. All right, give yourself a lovely hug. Love yourself. Hug the world. All y'all in the world, hug them. And sprinkle all the goodness that you want on you, sprinkle it on everyone else, and have a wonderful, make it fun day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Erica, for coming and sharing.
Thank you. You all have an amazing day and week.
Yeah.